Getting ready for that motor vehicle assembly inspector interview.
Oh, yeah,
We're going to dive deep today with RoleCatcher
definitely.
and really nail this thing.
Yeah,
Interviews can be kind of nerve-wracking,
you're right.
but
From,
we're going to give you the knowledge and the confidence you need
yeah,
to just absolutely ace it.
to crush it.
So we're going to be using a whole stack of resources from RoleCatcher today
Okay,
on this role
Mm.
and on the interview process.
sounds good.
I think it's going to give you a real edge.
Absolutely.
And fun fact, RoleCatcher has over 120,000 interview questions in its database.
Wow, that's a lot.
So they've really got you covered no matter what they throw at you.
That's amazing.
So we're going to tackle some of the most common interview questions,
Okay,
sprinkle in some career insights,
perfect.
and we're going to show you how RoleCatcher's AI
Yeah,
can really be your secret weapon in this process.
I like it. A secret weapon.
Let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
This is a question that pops up in pretty much every interview for this role.
Okay.
Can you explain your experience with identifying defects in motor vehicle assembly?
Okay, so this is your chance to shine.
All right.
You really want to showcase
Mhm.
your attention to detail.
Okay.
And don't just tell them that you're good at spotting problems.
Yeah.
You want to give them
Oh.
really specific examples.
I see.
Like, talk about a time you noticed a misaligned part or a faulty connection
Oh.
or even like a tiny imperfection that others might have missed.
So you really want to show
Yeah.
them that you're looking at the fine details,
Exactly.
not just glancing over things.
You got it.
And the RoleCatcher Career Guide actually mentions some of the tools
Okay.
that inspectors use for this,
Mhm.
like micrometers and dial indicators.
Mhm.
Being able to talk about that stuff
Yeah.
really shows you've got the hands-on experience.
Oh, sure.
I think they're probably going to dig a little deeper, though,
Probably.
with a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like, can you describe a time you found a particularly challenging defect,
Oh, yeah.
and how did you address it?
That's a good one.
This is where you really get to
Yeah.
show off those problem-solving skills.
Absolutely.
Walk them through your thought process, like
Yeah.
how you diagnosed the issue, what solutions did you come up with?
And what steps did you take to fix it?
Exactly.
And what was the result?
Yeah.
So they can really see that you can take initiative and solve problems on your own.
So it's not just about finding the problem.
Right.
It's about showing
Mm-hmm.
that you can fix it.
Yeah, you're a problem solver.
All right. Let's move on to another common question.
Okay.
How do you ensure that all parts are correctly installed during the assembly process?
This one's all about demonstrating a really systematic approach to quality control.
Right.
You don't want a car with parts put in backwards
Yeah, that's no good.
or upside down.
Exactly.
So you want to really think about the steps you take
Okay.
to make sure everything is done right.
All right. Like what kind of things?
Well, carefully comparing parts to the assembly instructions,
Uh-huh.
making sure you're using the right tools and equipment,
Yeah.
checking and double-checking your work.
Oh.
Basically, you want to paint a picture
Mm.
of a thorough and meticulous process.
So you're really emphasizing that commitment to accuracy.
Yes, absolutely.
And I noticed in the RoleCatcher Career Guide, in the pros and cons section,
Oh, yeah.
they mentioned this job can get a little repetitive.
It can be, yeah.
So maybe weave in a little story here
Okay.
about a time you went above and beyond to make sure things were done right,
Yeah,
even if it meant staying late.
I like that.
It really shows that you're not just clocking in and out,
For sure.
that you really care about the quality of the work.
That's a great tip.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit
Sounds good.
and talk about a question that's likely to come up. Can you describe your experience using measuring tools during the assembly process? I feel like this is a good opportunity to really show off your knowledge
Yeah,
of all those different tools.
exactly. So be prepared to talk about your experience with micrometers, dial indicators,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even oscilloscopes, depending on the specific job.
Okay.
Make sure you're familiar with the tools they mention in the job description.
Yeah, good
And
point.
be ready to explain how
Yeah.
you've used them in a professional setting.
And you know what? This is where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Oh, how so?
It analyzes those job descriptions
Uh-huh.
and highlights the exact skills they're looking for.
Oh, cool.
It's like having a cheat sheet for the interview.
I like it.
You can use that info to tailor your answers
Yeah,
and really stand out from the crowd.
that's a great tip.
Now, let's talk about something super important. Safety.
Okay,
They're definitely going to ask you about this.
they should.
Probably something like, how do you ensure that all safety protocols are followed during the assembly process?
Safety is a top priority in any manufacturing environment.
For sure.
And they really want to see
Yeah.
that you're someone who takes it seriously.
So what's the best way to approach this question?
Don't just list off a bunch of protocols.
Okay.
You really want to demonstrate your proactive approach to safety.
I see.
Talk about the specific procedures you follow,
Mm-hmm.
any special safety training you've had,
Okay.
maybe even a time you noticed a potential hazard
Yeah.
and took steps to correct it.
So you're really showing that you're not just following the rules.
Right.
You're actively contributing to a safe work environment.
Exactly. You're a safety champion.
All right, let's move on to another question
Sure.
that can sometimes be a little tricky.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with electrical systems during the assembly process?
This one really depends on the specific role.
Right.
Some positions might require a lot of in-depth electrical knowledge,
Uh-huh.
while others might focus more on the mechanical side of things.
So read that job description carefully.
Yes, very carefully.
And tailor your answer accordingly.
That's key.
If they're looking for someone who can troubleshoot complex wiring,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to want to emphasize those skills.
Absolutely.
But if it's a more general assembly role,
Yeah.
maybe focus on your ability to follow instructions
Okay.
and work safely with those electrical components.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's all about highlighting the right experience
For sure.
for that particular job.
You got it.
Okay, let's tackle another crucial question.
Okay.
How do you ensure that the finished product meets all quality standards?
This is where you connect your work
Okay.
to the company's success.
Because at the end of the day, it's about delivering a great product.
Absolutely.
Right.
You want to explain how your inspections
Uh-huh.
contribute to making a high-quality vehicle
Okay.
that meets customer expectations.
Yeah.
You can even mention the company's reputation for quality
Mm-hmm.
and how your work helps to maintain that.
I like that.
It shows you understand the big picture
Yeah, exactly.
and how your role plays a part in it.
So you're not just focused on your individual tasks.
Right.
You're thinking about the company as a whole
Exactly.
and the impact your work has
Yeah, the bigger picture.
on their success.
You got it. And, this actually ties in nicely with another question
Oh, okay.
we might ask.
Right.
Can you describe a time you had to troubleshoot and solve a complex assembly issue?
Okay.
This is your chance to really showcase those problem-solving skills.
Mm-hmm. In action.
Exactly. Tell them a story.
It's story time.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
how do you make sure it's a compelling story
That's a good question.
that really highlights your abilities?
The STAR method is your best friend here.
Okay.
Situation, task, action, result.
Right.
You set the scene.
Yeah.
You describe the issue you faced. What was the task at hand?
Okay.
What actions did you take to solve the problem?
Uh-huh.
And then what was the result?
So you're really painting a picture for them,
Exactly.
showing them how you think on your feet. Yeah, how you solve problems.
And how you get results.
And the career guide mentions a fast-paced work environment.
It does.
So I think it's really important to emphasize efficiency here.
For sure.
Your ability to work under pressure
Yeah.
to
Sure.
get things done quickly.
Absolutely.
Now let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
to a question that's all about time management. How do you ensure that all assembly work is completed within the allotted time frame?
This is all about those organizational skills.
Right. You got to be organized.
You got to be able to prioritize,
Mm-hmm.
manage your time effectively,
Meet those deadlines.
especially in a demanding environment.
I think this is a good place to share some examples
Absolutely.
of how you've developed systems to stay organized.
Okay.
Maybe a time you had to juggle multiple tasks and still met all those deadlines.
Yeah, good example.
And you know what's interesting?
What's that?
RoleCatcher actually has a whole module
Really?
that's designed to help you plan and manage your job search,
That-
which involves a lot of those same skills.
It does, yeah.
So you can kind of tie that in there.
That's a great point.
Show them you've got those transferable skills.
You got it.
Okay, let's move on
Right.
to a question that's all about your attention to detail.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with quality control inspections?
Ah, yes. This is another chance to showcase your expertise.
I feel like we're getting a lot of chances to showcase our expertise.
Well, this job is all about expertise.
That's true.
So really paint a vivid picture of your inspection process.
Okay.
Talk about the specific procedures you follow,
Yeah.
what tools you use,
Okay.
why meticulous documentation is so important.
Mm-hmm.
The more specific you are, the better.
Give some examples.
Right, like maybe you implemented a new inspection checklist that improved accuracy,
Yeah.
or you use a certain software to log and track inspection data.
So you're really showing them, you're not just going through the motions, that you understand the importance of quality control.
And that you're good at it.
All right. And speaking of staying ahead of the curve,
Oh, yeah.
here's a question they're probably going to ask in some form.
Okay, what is it?
How do you stay up to date with the latest technologies and assembly techniques?
Right, because this industry is always changing.
Exactly. So you got to be a lifelong learner.
Lifelong learner, absolutely.
So how do you show them that?
Talk about your commitment to professional development.
Okay.
Mention any industry publications you read, conferences you attend, online courses, maybe even just your own research into new technologies.
Really show them that you're proactive.
Yes, proactive.
Eager to learn new things.
And you're passionate about the industry.
And RoleCatcher has a ton of resources to help with this.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
They even provide links to organizations like the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence.
That's awesome.
It's like a whole library of knowledge.
Right at your fingertips.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit.
Right.
And talk about a question that can sometimes throw people off.
Okay.
What are your salary expectations?
Oh, yeah, that one.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It can be a little tricky.
It can be.
So how do you handle it?
Do your research.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually provides salary ranges
Oh, cool.
for this role based on your experience and location.
So you can kind of get a sense of what's reasonable.
Exactly.
But you also want to consider your own skills and qualifications.
Of course.
Right. So it's about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Knowing your worth, but also being realistic.
Right. Exactly.
And be prepared to justify your expectations.
That's important.
Highlight those key skills, your experience level,
Mm-hmm.
any special certifications you have.
So you're basically negotiating.
Yeah, kind of like you're presenting a case
Yeah.
for why you deserve that compensation.
Got it.
All right, let's talk about another classic interview question.
Okay, what's that?
What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Ah, the classic strengths and weaknesses.
It feels like everyone asks this,
They do.
but it can still be tough to answer.
It can be.
So what's the key here?
Be honest and self-aware,
Okay.
but also be strategic.
I see.
When you're talking about your strengths, make sure they align with the requirements of the role.
So like for this role,
Yeah, for this role.
you might want to highlight things like attention to detail,
Exactly.
problem-solving abilities,
Right.
time management, a commitment to quality and safety, right? Because those are all really important
Absolutely.
for a motor vehicle assembly inspector.
And when it comes to weaknesses,
Okay.
choose something that's not essential to the job
Right.
and show them how you're working to improve.
So, for example,
Yeah.
if you're not great at public speaking, you could mention that you've joined Toastmasters
Good example.
or taken a communication course
Perfect.
to work on those skills.
That shows you're self-aware
Yeah.
and that you're committed to growth.
Right. It's all about turning that negative
Yeah.
into a positive.
Exactly.
And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you with this.
Really?
You can practice your answers,
Uh-huh.
and the AI will give you feedback
That's cool.
on your delivery, your content, your pacing, your tone.
Wow, it's like having a personal coach.
It really is.
That's amazing.
Okay, let's tackle another question
Sure.
that often throws people off.
Yeah?
Tell me about a time you failed.
Yes, the failure question.
Yeah, nobody likes to talk about their failures,
Right.
but they ask it for a reason.
They do.
They want to see how you handle setbacks,
Your resilience.
how you learn from your mistakes.
So how do you approach this one?
Choose an example that shows your ability to overcome challenges,
Okay.
to take responsibility for your actions,
Mm-hmm.
and learn from the experience.
So it's not about dwelling on the negative.
Right.
It's about showing what you learned
Exactly. And how you grew from that experience.
and how it made you a better professional.
You turned that failure into a learning opportunity. Now, as we're getting towards the end of the interview,
Uh-huh.
there's one question that almost always comes up.
All right, what is it?
Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, the chance to turn the tables.
Right. You're interviewing them too.
So what kind of questions should we ask?
Think about the things that matter to you in a job.
Okay.
Ask about the company culture,
Yes.
opportunities for growth,
Mm-hmm.
what a typical day looks like in this role.
Those are good ones.
It shows them you're engaged,
Yeah,
that you're really interested in this specific opportunity.
not just any job.
Exactly.
This particular job.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From technical questions
Yep.
to behavioral questions,
Mhm.
even those tricky salary and weakness questions.
It's a lot to cover.
It is.
But if there's one thing you take away from this,
Yeah.
it's that practice makes perfect.
Practice, practice, practice.
Use RoleCatcher's resources to prepare for those questions.
They have a ton of great resources.
They do.
Refine your answers. Boost your confidence.
You got this.
And remember, this industry is constantly changing.
It is.
So stay curious, keep learning,
Absolutely.
embrace those changes.
You'll do great.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Sounds good.
And when we come back,
Okay.
we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts and strategies
Right.
to help you really nail that interview.
I like it.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time talking about those tough interview questions.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
And how to prepare really solid answers.
Right.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
How you actually present yourself on the big day.
Oh, that's important too.
Right, you got to make a good impression.
Yeah, first impressions are everything.
So we've aced the technical side. We know the content backwards and forwards.
Right, we're experts now.
How do we make sure we really nail that first impression?
Well, you're not just being assessed on your answers.
Okay.
It's also about how you communicate them. Confidence, clarity, a genuine passion for the work. Those are the things that really make you stand out.
Makes sense. So beyond just knowing the material,
Yeah.
what are some tips for actually delivering those answers?
Practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Exactly. Practice those answers out loud.
Okay.
Record yourself if it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're getting the key points across
Yeah.
in a clear and concise way.
You don't want to ramble on.
Yeah, no rambling.
And RoleCatcher, I think they have that AI-powered feedback feature
Oh, yeah, they do, right?
where you can actually practice your answers and get feedback from the AI
That's a great tool.
on your delivery, your content, your pacing, all that good stuff.
It's like having a virtual coach.
It really is.
Amazing.
And don't forget those nonverbal cues.
Oh, yeah, those are important too.
Eye contact, good posture, a genuine smile.
All of that.
It really communicates confidence and enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
So even if you're nervous on the inside,
Right.
got to project that calm, collected exterior.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah, kind of like that. But, don't really fake it. Right, yeah. Just project your best self. Yeah, exactly. Let that passion shine through.
And enthusiasm is contagious.
It is, for sure.
So if you're excited about the work,
Yeah,
the interviewer is going to pick up on that.
they will.
All right, so we've talked about prepping our answers.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about nailing that delivery.
Right.
Anything else we should be doing during the actual interview?
Ask questions.
Oh, yeah, don't forget to ask questions.
It shows you're engaged, genuinely interested.
It's your chance to learn more about the company,
Exactly.
about the role.
See if it's a good fit for you.
So what kind of questions should we be asking to really impress them?
Think about what's important to you
Right.
in a job.
Yeah.
Ask about the company culture,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities for growth and development,
Okay.
what a typical day looks like in this role.
Yeah, great questions.
It shows them you've done your homework.
Right, that you're not just there for any job. You're really interested in this specific opportunity.
And it gives you more information to make a decision.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's a two-way street.
It is.
You're both trying to figure out if it's the right fit.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we've given our listeners a lot of great information today.
I think so too.
Some real practical tips to help them ace that interview.
Yep.
Any final words of wisdom before we wrap things up?
Remember, preparation is key.
Preparation is key.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel.
Practice makes perfect.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Oh, yeah, those are amazing.
They can really give you an edge.
Secret weapon.
So go out there and rock those interviews.
You got this. We believe in you.
Thanks for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this with you.
Likewise.
Best of luck out there in the job market.